A lot of people are investing outside of New York, or, further away from where they are every day. And, you know, I mean, we're in a world that things are connected pretty easily, right? I mean, we have property managers, that are on site daily with, video camera, WhatsApping, and you're able to see what's going on daily. And, at first, I mean, obviously, if you're buying a property that needs a lot of work, you're going to spend more time. But I mean, there are properties that we've built or that we've, enhanced that, after time, I mean, we very rarely visit them.
One of the biggest concerns that I always had, and I think a lot of people have, real estate is location, 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 right? But being out of sight, out of mind sometimes scares me, and that probably scares a lot of people. Most investors probably try to invest, right outside their backyard so they can drive by the property, they could see it, they could feel it, they could touch it, and get a better understanding of it. So one of my questions is, how did you get comfortable with investing so far away from home, right? Because most people live in an area, especially New York, that is not densely populated with mobile home parks. So if you want to get into this space, especially from being up north, you kind of have to migrate away from your home.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my questions would be that is like, how does location impact the success of the mobile home park or the local demand?
I think when you're from New York, right? You're from New York, and you think of real estate, you think of New York real estate, right? It's, the greatest real estate in the world. And you grow up here, you're thinking about how can I invest in real estate here? And, as you get further down in your career and you look at numbers, I mean, numbers are a big factor, right? A lot of the numbers don't make sense here in New York. And, but if you speak to most people that invest outside of New York City, which there are a lot of people, they're driving 2.5 hours into Pennsylvania, they're driving, 3 hours into Jersey. A lot of people are investing outside of New York, or, further away from where they are every day. And, I mean, we're in a world that things are connected pretty easily, right? I mean, we have property managers, that are on site daily with, video camera, WhatsApping, and you're able to see what's going on daily. And, at first, I mean, obviously, if you're buying a property that needs a lot of work, you're going to spend more time. But I mean, there are properties that we've built or that we've, enhanced that, after time, I mean, we very rarely visit them once you get them to where they are and you get a team in place.
But how is it that I want to elaborate on that because I don't think I asked it correctly. How do you identify locations based on market division and stuff like that to find the
Okay, so I was going to say that you're going to break your question into two parts, right? So the first thing is identifying a market that you want to be in, right? So we look at certain economic data factors that we like, right? So we like to be in markets or communities that either have we almost call them like an economic buttress, whether it's a military, right? Whether it's education, which typically have been recession-proof businesses, or in locations which are hubs, right? So that it's either a transportation hub or hub for certain industry where there's multiple or diversity of business. So you're not so dependent on one company going in or out, and those fortunes are going to ride up and down with your investment. So that's something that we look at. We look at, if that area is the access, the location terms in that area, like if it's strategic, whether on a main road, a thoroughfare being important, to make sure that the population growth has been trending up. One of the things that we look at when we're buying a park, right, is where those rents are in comparison to traditional apartments, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartments. And if I can put out a product that's going to be of a greater value, right? So if I know 2-bedroom rents are $1,000 a month, right? Then I know if I have a 2-bedroom home or a 3-bedroom home that I can offer out total in lot rent, payment for the home, at that number or below, that works, right? So that's something that we would take into consideration as well. So those are factors that you have to get comfortable with when you're looking at a market to see if that market is something that's an investment for you as well. A good indicator would be, where you take in certain markets we're in, take Jacksonville, North Carolina, we're bringing in new homes to our community that we're offering out at $59,900. A traditional stick-built home in that market sells for $250,000, right? I can offer a brand new product at a better comparable price than a traditional stick-built home that's like $245,000, I think is the median sell price there. So that's something we look at, right? And I think if you're looking at markets, that's something that you have to get comfortable with first. And then to Eric's point, to operate remotely, it all starts with building your team. The first step is you have to have I was just having this conversation with somebody else the other day. It's clear communication and clarity on expectations. So you're communicating with your people on the ground, and you have expectations that you want them to meet on standards that you want to keep inside your community and how you like to see things operationally. But I would say probably your most important hire, right, day one, is your admin, right? And to understand how are you going to deal with those tenant calls? How are you going to prioritize items that are happening? And you need somebody, and nowadays there's a lot of ways where you can get somebody remotely to kind of be that buffer for you, so you're not caught up, in the middle of something, and then all of a sudden trying to answer a tenant issue or not understanding the chain of events that's happened beforehand. So I think that's a key. If you're going to operate remotely, your first step is getting an admin and then building a team with clear communication and expectations.